It's even better if it is forever. And I don't know what I'm crying for. You had those same looks in your eyes. You think I can go on American Idol? Can I go platinum?
Yeah, at least American Idol. Platinum, I mean, it's tough, right? You know, you never know. There could be politics involved. Is there what's going on in society at the
Gotta go.
time?
You gotta go to the Diddy party, man. Do what you gotta do, man. Sometimes you gotta get oiled up, baby. Sometimes you gotta get baby oiled up.
It's funny you bring that up because the Diddy party thing we are thinking about or talking about last week, I've thought about it more. And like I assume this happens in Hollywood a lot. Like let's take the Diddy and the rape part out of it, but like just a Hollywood party, weird shit I assume happens, right? So like where is that line of like all of a sudden imagine it's just me and I'm go to a party and Brad Pitt's there and Brad Pitt starts just like kissing dudes on the lips. It's like, oh Fraser, you want to keep on hanging out? Like kiss me on the lips, like it's cool. And you're like, I'm from Nebraska, let's say, and I just moved to LA and I'm like, oh, maybe this is how things happen in Hollywood.
What if they put Molly into the punch? You got Molly in the punch, and now you're like, damn, I don't know why. I don't normally do this, but come here, Brad. Give me them lips.
Yeah, and like, would I want to be best friends with Brad Pitt for the next 20 years of my life, and all I have to do is kiss him, you know, and maybe massage him?
EJ Johnson, I fucked the shit out of me at a Hollywood party, bro. It was like,
Ooh.
I mean, yeah, it was the closest encounter I ever had to anything gay. It was just one time I was at a Hollywood party, right? You know, this back in the day, it's like 5 a.m. And you know, EJ, I had seen Magic Johnson's son was always this big, like big fat dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I saw that at the party, I was like, that looked like Magic Johnson's son, but he's skinny. So I started looking, and I'm a little high, and I just kept looking, trying to see if it was him. And then finally, he knew that I was looking, so he was like,
oh.
And it was a solid, like, it might only been like half a second, but it felt like 5 minutes of just, and I was like, damn, did me and EJ Johnson just make love with eyes? It's what it felt like.
Wow. And so did you guys do anything?
I don't
did
want
you do anything or no?
You're going to tag me on Facebook, and then people are going to be like, yo, this nigga Jared been out here trying to smash EJ.
100%. Yes, 100%. This is great content.
Yeah, no.
But
you ever think about EJ, all right? You ever encounter someone like several times? Like you ever just bump into somebody and keep bumping into them, and you wonder like, is the universe trying to tell me like I need to have some kind of transaction with this person, like not like financial or anything sexual, but just maybe like share knowledge, right? And I bumped into EJ Johnson more than any celebrity in LA in the course of my time out here. Probably like 6 times. 6 times me and EJ. Maybe like that's where our level of fame is at. I'm EJ famous. Like me and him are not necessarily Oscars after party at CAA, but we're both like, you know, special event attendants at the trees. That's what me and EJ are. So EJ, if you're ever watching this, which you're not, holla at me, bro.
Yeah, we can get him on the podcast. This is where we live in these kind of realms.
Yeah.
I just included myself with you and EJ. I figure we're going to have like a culture corner to start off our podcast because you're just our plethora of knowledge for just pop culture in general.
Am I representing all black people or culture? Is this like
no pop culture corner? Yeah, but also culture. So yeah, I couldn't sleep last night because I was thinking about you and this topic. Let me finish. And this topic, you're going to love it. Actually, I was thinking about who are the best comedians of all time, top 3, top 4, and then I have something that I thought of last night for like 3 hours. I couldn't sleep because I was running through it because it's a pretty good idea. Would you say, or who, if you just listed off the top 3 or 4 comedians of all time, who are they? Like Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, and then now Kevin Hart, Chris Rock?
That's way more than 3.
Yeah, so 3 to 5. Are they all in the kind of category of the leaders?
Yeah, I mean, so this is my thought process. Same where people are like Will Chamberlain's the GOAT, and like if I wasn't really around to appreciate the older comics, like Richard Pryor is a G. Like I can watch the stuff now and it still holds up funny. But like obviously the revolution that what he did for comedy, I have to respect. But if I said Richard Pryor's in my top 5, it doesn't hold genuine because I never grew up and related to Richard Pryor's shit. Like I can watch it now, like that is pretty good. Chris Rock was one of my favorite first comedians. Bigger and Blacker was one of the first specials. I was like, yo, this shit is hilarious. Dave Chappelle is the GOAT. That's the best comedian of all time. And then Bernie Mac, and obviously just his Def Jam set, but even the Kings of Comedy, I was like, this guy is hilarious. And I feel like he was one of the people that died so young that you really didn't get to see the potential like that. I think, you know, sometimes when people die, that the mystery of them holds well. Like, like XXXTentacion, right? Don't get me wrong, he's probably a great rapper. The fact that he died made him much more famous. Like, if he was still around, he would have fell off like a little pump or somebody. And so, yeah, the fact that Bernie Mac died lets me always wonder, like, he never fully gave us a special. Like, he never gave us for what it's worth, and that's what makes it. But yeah, those three, and I gotta throw a white person on it just to make it not seem racist. I like Daniel Tosh.
Yeah.
His amount of humor and slightly offensiveness to everybody is really good.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up the Wilt Chamberlain thing, because this was the epiphany I had when I couldn't sleep. It boils down perfectly, and you got to choose one, Jared. Compare comedians to the NFL or the NBA. So let's give me an example. Dave Chappelle, Michael Jordan,
Okay.
LeBron is I'm going Dave Chappelle, I'm going
Dave
LeBron.
Chappelle's LeBron. Yeah, he's LeBron.
I'm going Dave Chappelle, LeBron, then I'm going Eddie Murphy, Michael Jordan, because he just came out on fire, kind of changed a bit of the world that we did. He, he could be the GOAT. He's an arguable GOAT. Then you said Wilt Chamberlain.
He stopped doing comedy at 28.
Right? I can't believe, and Jordan retired, so he had more meat left on the bone. And then Richard Pryor, you said Wilt. I had him down as Wilt. Or you could even say like Magic Johnson, but like someone before our time, but you still appreciate, or Bill Russell, I had him. And then you have Kevin Hart. You can go plenty of different ways with that. Where
Anthony Edwards.
Now you go to the NFL. Boom. Kevin Hart, Mahomes, Tom Brady, Dave Chappelle, Joe Montana, Eddie Murphy, whoever you want to put, Richard Pryor. And then it gets fun. Like even in the NBA, I was thinking people like Jerry Seinfeld, just kind of really like boring humor. Like you get it. It had its place. Still crushed it, right? Still a legend.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Tim Duncan?
Like Eli. He's like Eli Manning.
Yeah, or Tim Duncan. Like he's just kind of.
Yeah,
I think
no one loves him. Nobody's favorite player is Tim Duncan. Nobody's favorite comedian is Jerry Seinfeld.
Exactly. But you still put up numbers. It's still widely respected as one of the best.
All right, this is my comedian rank. This is how it goes. All right.
Yeah.
Cat Williams is Jimmy Butler because they're great, but at the same time, you're like, not always, right? Yeah, and they both smashed Taylor Rooks. No, I'm joking.
I would go someone who's more erratic. I feel like Jimmy Butler is like mentally
Jimmy Butler's
there.
erratic. No, he's erratic. He's a weird guy. Yeah, he just goes and he's just like, hey, I want to run with the twos and take on all the fucking starters, get on the fucking court, and he beats them. Like, that's a Cat Williams move. That's Cat Williams.
That's fair.
I feel like Kevin Hart is Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Like, he's up there. You got to respect him. He's done a lot, but like, no one's like Steph Curry's the GOAT. And I don't think no one thinks Kevin Hart's the GOAT, but he's like a legend. Like, you can't deny what Kevin Hart has done to the game. You can't take his history away, which I feel like is Steph Curry.
Oh, and I had Chris Rock as Kobe.
Yeah.
Doesn't that fit perfectly?
Yeah, that is, because he's like Eddie Murphy, Jordan, Kobe. Yeah. They try to be similar. Yeah, they put them on. And LeBron is Dave Chappelle. And let's see, Gary Owens is Zubac.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Now there's no smaller comedians. Let's go with the wing.
That's what I'm saying. Right? You can have fun and get real. Like who's Daniel Tosh? Daniel Tosh is like Steve Nash?
No. Daniel Tosh is.
Ooh, because he had what's his name? The coach of the Mavericks.
Player. Steve Kerr. No, the Mavericks is Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd, because didn't Jason Kidd get in a bunch of trouble and shit? He was a little bit off his rocker.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like just because of race, I want to make it a white player, but he's probably not a white player. He's probably like Rondo. Daniel Tosh is Rondo.
Yeah, I like that. That one works.
But we have to make him white just because, colors.
Yeah. Can you see why I didn't sleep last night for like 3 hours? Because I started naming comedians of who they are as athletes. It's a fun game.
Well, you want to know what's even worse? Athletes, take your girlfriend, right? And then find 5 athletes that are her age. And you'll be like, this girl is old. And that just applies to anybody unless you're talking to like a 22-year-old girl, which you're not. But you're like, damn, my girl is Larry Fitzgerald's age. Oh, like she's Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. I think my girlfriend's Joe Burrow.
No, your girlfriend's young?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're going to get canceled, bro. You can't do that. Groomer.
Joe Burrow's like 27, 28.
He's like 25.
No, he's not. He's 28. I think he might be 27,
Google,
actually.
How old is Joe Burrow? Joe Burrow is 27 years old. He's 27 years old.
Yeah. I only know
Like,
that off the top of my head because they said someone else is 27 years old. That Sam Darnold is 27. So
oh yeah, yeah, your girl's young. But yeah, most people aren't that. Most viewers are like, yeah, my girl is Calais Campbell's age.
that's what always fucked me up with Frank Gore. Is every time fantasy season would come around, I'm like, I'm not picking up that motherfucker. He's old as fuck.
He's
And
still
then I was like,
good.
oh, I'm like 5 years older than him when he looks like 50.
I was really like
I'm like,
LeBron. Obviously, LeBron is going to play with Bronny Jr., which is amazing. But to me, I always felt like Frank Gore playing in the same backfield as his son would have been the most amazing thing of all
oh
time,
yeah,
bro.
that would have been
Just put it
impossible.
on the
Absolutely.
field at the same time in a wishbone. It could have happened. He just needed like 4 years. He needed like teams to just let him. He couldn't sit still. He wanted to get 200 carries every season he played. He should have been a guy that comes in for like 3 downs. He could have Udonis Haslam his way into playing with his son, and it
Oh,
would
you're
help his
right.
son get drafted. Because I think his son is like he's not even playing anymore. He was like in the draft. He didn't get drafted.
Oh, he didn't?
Hey Google,
Oh.
who does Frank Gore Jr. play for? Oh, he's on the Bills.
Oh.
There's no way.
I guess he
Fact check
is.
that for me, Fraser.
I will.
You don't want
Frank
to talk about
Gore.
this.
No, did you have any? No, I was thinking I want to find it out. Like, do you have any insight about Frank Gore? Like, his longevity? Was he a super freak in the gym? Did he get good genes? Did he eat well?
All right. I hope Frank doesn't watch this because it's going to be kind of funny. If you ever bump into Frank Gore, you'd be like, you're not an NFL player. He just doesn't look like it. He's not necessarily ripped. He's not the tallest. He just kind of looks like a regular guy. And ever at Miami, everybody was like, yo, all the stars in there. I was like, who's buddy right there? And they like, that's Frank Gore. I'm like, oh, shit. And so, like, Frank was like, he's just a guy. He looks like a guy, but he's a dog. And, like, the rumors is, I don't know how true this is. They say he started as a freshman before Clinton Portis and Willis McGahee. But then
Oh.
he got hurt, and so they both jumped him, and then he ended up like red shirting and getting to like 4 or 5 years, and then he came to the NFL. But like technically, that's how long his reign was, from like Clinton Portis to like Jonathan Taylor. Like that's how long he was
Yeah.
around and relevant. He
That's
doesn't like
wild.
doing interviews. He doesn't like doing interviews, and the reason why his interviews sometimes can be confusing. People ask very difficult questions. That's why I don't like doing improv. People are like, yeah, talk about cervicals. And you're like, what? I don't know what the fuck that means. And so, like, yeah, he doesn't like doing interviews. But one time when I was at Yahoo, he sat down. I was like, yo, here's a question for. Let me ask you. He came with the questions, and he did a great interview with me. And everybody was like, that's surprising. Frank didn't do an interview with nobody else this whole week. I was like, well, it's you. It's
Yeah.
fucking you. It's all about it. And so,
Yeah.
I think the real problem is that Frank is insecure with his ability to fully comprehend what these difficult questions interviews be saying, because they be asking some wild shit in these interviews. And so, but other than that, he's one of the best running backs of all time, and that's because he's low to the ground, and people don't.
And
I think that this is another thing. He doesn't have that many people trying to take pictures with him, bro. That takes it out of you. That's what makes people want to retire, bro. They get tired of being treated like an animal. They go in the streets and people are signing, hey, sign this. Hey, let me take a picture. Now there's a lot of people want to take pictures. They don't even know who Calais is. And you're like, you just want to take pictures because you think he's famous. Frank Gore doesn't have that. Frank Gore is just literally chilling at the Bloomingdale's, just looking through the shoe selection, and people think he's stealing. They're like, yo, bro, watch that guy. That's who Frank Gore is. And so, yeah, he didn't have the stress of external pressures.
Yeah, that makes sense. I love that. You brought up the Miami running back room. Is that like the best? What do we? I wonder. It'd be hard off the top of your head or anyone's head. The best group of a position on a college team, like because that what you just said, Willis, Clinton, and Gore has to be top 3.
I can tell you, all right, there's the best, and then there's the mid-range, and then there's the stars. I think the worst running backs in college football come from Wisconsin. Every one of them just a bust. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's doing all right to hold it on. But you know what I mean? Like top first 2-round picks for running backs they had, from Monty Ball to James. Like there's a lot of guys that you just don't know. Jonathan Clay. They don't last in the NFL, but they do really good in college. They're like Heisman contenders. And so I'm all from the Wisconsin running back room, all right? If any team I like drafts a Wisconsin running back, I'm like, are we sure?
Yeah.
Alabama running backs. There was a point where they really weren't doing it. And then I think Mark Ingram clicked in like year 7. He started balling. And then next thing you know, Derrick Henry starts balling. But there was a Trent Richardson. There was a phase where all those guys were pretty bad. So I think they're the mid-tier of running backs. And the alpha room of running backs is the University of Miami. In fact, sometimes the best players on your team are like the third-string running backs in Miami, like Travis Homer and and DJ Dallas. Like these guys get touchdowns in fantasy. You might not have them, but like obviously Lamar Miller, Clinton Portis, Willis McGahee, Frank Gore, Najee Davenport. Like you'd be surprised how many people you find on fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Hall of Famers. So yeah, Miami is the alpha room of running backs. Indeed.
What do you think though? Like in terms of just on one team at one point, like let's say LSU, what wide receivers were all together at the same time? Like what was the scariest? Which I think this Portis, Frank, and McGahee running back at the same time. That's the scariest set of running backs ever at once. Like as LSU probably had Jefferson.
They
what's his
had,
name?
they had like I'm gonna Google it right now, so just watch it. They had like Najee Davenport, who was like pretty good. That team, like the 2002 Hurricanes running back room, might have been the best running back room of all time, as far as like success in the pros. I'm sure.
I wonder what was the best quarterback room of all time was.
Isn't it Alabama with Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, and
there's got to be better than that.
Mac Jones.
There's got to be better.
All right, running back room, they split it up. I wish they did it by position. I don't like this. I don't want to have to go through numbers. Quadrant Hill was good. He was really good. I think he boxes now. He used to come back a lot. All right, Willis McGahee was a running back. Frank Gore, Jared Payton, the GOAT's son, was on the team at that point. Those were the starters. This is the bench players. All right, I don't know. This is more difficult than I would like it to be. So
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I wonder what team kind of had it all at one across the board: quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. But yeah, all right. Well, I'm glad you liked my comedian thought. Oh, we got some news. NIL, because we talked about this last week. NIL's been going. There's been some negative stories. So, what's his name from Nevada?
Skula.
From New Mexico.
Nevada. It's UNLV.
UNLV. Thank you. Yeah, just he's all of a sudden just opting out, and some people are saying, well, obviously they're saying because the school isn't paying him the money they promised. The other is he's getting offers from other schools, so he's going to sit down. But regardless of whatever side you're on, it's NIL is just shoving more shit.
I mean, I respect both sides of this. This is an interesting case. Like, let's be honest. I don't think Scola is going to be in the NFL, and if he is, it's going to be like undrafted. He's not a top first-day pick. And with that being the case, you got to get your bag now. Like, this shit's not promising. So I understand that. I think the way they're going about it is very difficult. It's kind of hard to like him because he's saying that the team just didn't pay up, which is very like. That's a big accusation, right? There's like these is liars. And I think it's not the case. I think they're 3-0. He's high right now. I think there's other teams that probably want to give him some money. I think that he's basically holding him at ransom, like pay me $100,000 and I'll play for you this year. Yeah. But it's kind of, I mean, to a point, what if they were 0-3 or 1-2, does he do this at all? Does he have the leverage? Even if it was true that they were supposed to pay him money, does he hold out to be like, well, give me my money? Because I don't think his leverage would be as high. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, which comes to our point last week where just NIL is the Wild West and it's ridiculous. Like, this is fair play to him, right? Get your money because you're not promised to do it, but it sucks that he's in a position where this is what we're living with. And now this can happen everywhere.
I think Bomani Jones has said this. I was watching. He was talking about it was actually more organized when people were dropping money off in the bag. Like, meet me here with the cash. It was a better success rate of successful transactions. Where now it's kind of like they're kind of a shit show. They're basically putting it on a third party because no one wants to blame to basically pay these people. And I know Jalen Rashada was suing Florida because they promised him $13 million and they couldn't come up with the funding. So he ended up going to Arizona State for presumably nothing. And he only got paid $150,000 to pay back the booster at Miami. That's the reason. That's all he got. He had committed to go to Miami. Someone gave him $150,000 and Florida was like, we'll give you more money. So he agreed to him. They gave him $150,000 so he could pay back the booster from Miami. And then they give him any more money. So, like, in a weird way, they kind of fucked him over. So, like, that's a bad play. I think school is just, it's leverage at this point. Could you imagine? Imagine it. Imagine you had a girl you fucking bagged and she was fine and she started getting finer as you was dealing with her. And then she was like, you know what? I'm back on the market. I want to see who else likes me. You'd be like, damn, it's not all right. At what point? Where does loyalty land? Where does any form of commitment? Why do we live in 2024 where nobody commits to anything? Is there ever like, I made a decision, it's a bad decision, but I got to stick with it because I made this decision? Or can you just leave and do anything? Can you just... At what point do we go, no, sit your ass down and do what the hell you said you were going to do? I don't want to watch this guy fucking training for the NFL with some prime contender as he gets paid from Oregon to come there to be his backup quarterback.
Mhm.
Honestly, I hope he does bad. And I hope he gets his money, but I hope the team learns a lesson. You can't be stealing people's players.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's crazy because like however long ago, LeBron with the decision kind of set the precedent, and Durant just kind of people leaving, and some baseball players did too. It's like that was unprecedented and bullshit. And now we've got this. It's taken it to a whole new level. Like you're saying, is just there's no loyalty. We thought that was the worst. This is twice as bad. Just players can leave whenever they want. Coaches can leave.
What does the term loyalty mean in sports in 2024?
Deep. I don't think there is any loyalty, right? And then also to a fair point, it's like, why should a player have any loyalty when the team doesn't give a shit about him? Like, especially running backs. I'd be like, y'all don't give a fuck about me. You're not paying me. I'm running through a wall, and you're just gonna like drop me or not pay me the money that I should get.
I never thought I would take this stance, but as we're talking about it now, it's there.
Ooh.
Running backs are making way more money than they've ever made before, but I guess people just want the top money, right? But it's like Terrell Davis made like $50 million in his career.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Christian McCaffrey signed like a 75 4-year deal. Like,
yeah, he's definitely doing all right. But you feel bad.
Yeah, but it's just to a point where, like, I understand the salary cap is fucked in its own right? You're only allowed to spend this much money. You have to spread it up. And, like, at the end of the day, I hate to say it, you can get a running back from a Maction school in the 6th round that's going to be just as good as your star running back. There's not that big of a difference of drop-off between someone that's getting 3.8 yards a carry and someone getting 4.1. So I'm not that's not my case. I think loyalty is a thing of, like, that's what humans should be based on. That's more than money, bro. When you're like, that's old school. That's like, what's the buddy from Invincible? He's an Eagles fan. Like, he wasn't going to take more money to go to the Carolina Panthers. Know that there used to be loyalty. People will retire with a team. They might leave for a little bit. Like, the worst thing I've ever seen, and you can throw pictures up when you edit this. Shaq in the Celtics jersey, Ed Reed in a Texans jersey, Jerry Rice in a Broncos jersey. Like, there's these pictures, you're like, yuck, this disgusts me. And it's just like, is the finances really worth it? Like, is it really worth whatever, like, the league minimum they're paying Shaq to go to the Celtics? I hate it. I don't like it. Where is loyalty coming? Teams should have that too. Tennessee is giving out fans. They do a tax now, like a gratuity, where they, on your tickets, when you buy a ticket, you're paying a talent fee so they can pay their NIL deals. And so all these hundreds of thousands of people that go to this game, they raise a bunch of money so they can pay their players, which is great. Like, do that to keep players around. Larry Fitzgerald is one of my most successful. He never won a championship, but he was like a GOAT and stayed with the one team and played with the shittiest of shitty quarterbacks. But like that legacy, so much of it, I feel like he should have a little ownership. Like, you should give Larry Fitzgerald a percentage of the Cardinals.
I wonder, like, if you look at Larry Fitzgerald, who's a wide receiver who's won a championship, but is like left a lot. It's like, who do you look at more? Like, as just a fan, be like, oh, that's Larry Fitzgerald, but you're not looking at player X who won a championship. Like, oh my God, that's player X. He won a championship. You're still like, oh no, Larry Fitzgerald. Like, as a fan, does a Super Bowl for a non-quarterback really matter? I still think Larry's a GOAT versus if he won a ring or not.
When you think of the name Brandon Cooks, what team does he play for?
The Cowboys.
Okay, you're good there, right? He was just on like 17 teams, and like the fact that he didn't stick with anybody, you're just an NFL free agent. Like, you just, I could throw any jersey up and you'd be like, yo, he played for that team. And he actually won a couple Super Bowls, I feel like. He was on multiple teams that won Super Bowls. But does that matter? Like, when you have no real fan base, there's no fan base that's like, we fuck with Brandon Cooks. Like, he's just
I agree.
Guy. Well, I know there's people that got tattoos of Larry Fitzgerald. You got tattoos of Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, definitely you'd want to be like the king of a city and stay around, depending on what the cost is, right? If it's $5 million, I guess it's just like, would you rather work at home or go to an office? Like, working from home is worth like $20K, 30K, 40K, even depending what you care about.
But that's the same. Like, they work from home. They're just like, hey, at 8 a.m. I need you to be on this meeting, and at 10 p.m. can you to do this, and you're just like, that's a 20-hour work week, man. Like, what are you doing? I can't work this long.
But yeah, so I think it's like Larry, like, I would take a 20% price cut to stay in the same place, especially if I liked it, at least. I guess some people might hate their owner.
But could you imagine, like, Larry Fitzgerald spending his last year kind of old, just on the Cowboys? Like, that would just take a little bit away from his legacy, wouldn't it?
Exactly. Like, what do you feel about, why can't I think, from the Jazz, Malone? Sorry, Karl Malone.
Oh, he did play for somewhere else, right? Or did he
the Lakers. He went to the Lakers, sold out to get a championship.
Oh,
and
and they
Gary
got
Payton.
beat. And they lost. They got beat.
No, he won one. I think he
No,
lost one, but
no, he got beat
yeah.
by
Oh
the
yeah.
Detroit Pistons. They only did
Okay,
1 year,
you're
and that's why people are like super teams don't work.
right. Did Gary Payton then won? Who won and sold out? Went to the Lakers.
Lakers were about trying to three-peat, or I think they did three-peat. They were trying to go for the four-peat with all these superstars, and then they end up
Yeah.
losing.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
Karl
Go ahead.
Malone, unique story. Obviously, I'm pretty sure he hates when people bring it up, but he definitely got a 13-year-old pregnant.
What?
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, like it's swept under the rug. He got a 13-year-old pregnant in Shreveport. And in Louisiana, I mean, there are no rules. I don't fault the man. In Louisiana, ain't nothing to do but talk to 13-year-olds. So, like, I get it. Do you?
Is this like one of those things that we can't talk about, like Marvin Harrison murder? We can talk
Yeah,
about Karl Malone.
like, if we're being honest, there's a lot of bodies around the NFL. There's a lot of deaths that's around. I mean, Aaron Hernandez took the fall, but I feel like there's a lot. There's a lot. Didn't
Could you create like
Talib's brother get somebody?
Yeah.
He got somebody, man.
Yeah.
Them little league arguments get real, bro. That's just cutting bloods, man.
Yeah, I mean, could you make a whole starting lineup out of like people who at least stab someone, like minimum assault and above?
Yeah. I mean,
Probably,
yeah.
right?
They have all those teams, like all domestic violence teams.
Yeah.
All murder team.
All murder teams.
Ray Caruth was a beef.
Yeah. They need to do Ray Lewis. I never really understood that one. Like he was because he was like around it, but it wasn't him, right? Like someone did it, but he was in a car, he says. At the time.
I mean, that's the Uncle Ray is my uncle, man. Uncle Ray don't seem like he let other people do the job. He's the type of person, he want to make every tackle. He don't watch plays.
Well, shit.
Why you want to go so dark? Why are we so dark on this podcast?
I don't know. I like it.
Neverland's supposed to be for the kids, man. It sounds like it's Disneyland's cousin of Betty.
Yeah. Who murdered who? Who did this? I like it. Yeah. It's kind of like Batman. We're like what do you call it? Warner Brothers. We don't want to be Disney.
You ever hear the Earl Thomas story? That's a pretty creepy story too. A crazy story. Earl Thomas, his wife of like 15 years, she pulled a gun on him and his brother making love to one woman. And I didn't know trains was like family. Is that kind of insexual? Obviously, they didn't touch each other, do anything. But I've never ran a train with my brothers, and I don't think I ever would want to. And I just didn't know that was a thing. And then to make it worse, you get held up at gunpoint. So now you're naked with your brother. Most women, you don't even want to know. You're like, I don't even want my girls to ever see any of my brother's meats, but it's impossible in that scenario, right?
Yeah. So he was with his brother with another woman, and the wife walked in.
She didn't walk in.
She stormed in with a gun.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised nobody got shot.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
Do white people cheat?
Yeah, all the time. Probably more, right?
I mean, just by numbers and demographics in America. In Canada, I don't
well,
think
even by percentage, I feel like white people want everything. They're like, that's mine, you're mine.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
right.
In Canada, they don't cheat though, right? Canadians don't cheat.
I don't think as much as Americans, but they still cheat. Yeah,
it's because it's cold. Yeah, cheating is a warm weather. You got hot outside. You gotta get a walk. When it's cold, you be at the house watching movies and shit, eating popcorn.
Cuddling. You need each other for warmth, right? You can't go like a couple of days without any like someone cuddling beside you. Last thing you want to be is like hung over on the shower floor, cold water, trying to get rid of the hangover, crying, anxiety. Yeah. And it's cold outside. Now you off yourself.
Yeah.
Down here, you're warm. You go to the beach.
And this is gonna change the subject, but I just realized this. You're a Vikings fan.
Yeah.
My question: have you ever seen a Latino Vikings fan?
I don't think I've ever seen a no.
It's crazy, right? Because when you think of it, it's like Latinos have a huge fan base. They love their teams, but usually it's like Raiders, Rams, 49ers, Cowboys, just strong Southern states, and not just like you can almost tell where Mexicans aren't by the jerseys that they don't wear, right? You just like Minnesota's definitely not Latino. You never see a Mexican in a Patriots jersey. You just never seen them before.
No, that makes sense. What are there many black people in Minnesota? It's like kind of right. It's kind of like Arizona.
Are you serious? Prince is from Minnesota, man. Come on, you trying this. There's a lot of black talents come from Minnesota. Black people are
Hmm.
everywhere, man. America, yeah, there's a whole thing about like you would notice this Canadian. There's a thing called slavery where they would just send black people, and then when slavery was over,
Oh,
black people like get away from the South and they just moved north to everywhere
oh.
besides Idaho and Wisconsin and Wyoming. I mean Wisconsin, but like Wyoming,
Well, I
Idaho,
thought
and
Minnesota would be the same. It's like
nah,
similar,
man,
right?
it's parallel lines, man. Anything that's if you was in Jackson, Mississippi, you went up to Chicago. If you was in Louisiana, Texas, you
Hmm.
went up to Minnesota.
Okay.
The Revenant. You didn't see there was a black dude in the Revenant. He was in the background chilling.
I've never seen The Revenant. Oh, yeah, The Revenant. Got it. Yes, I have seen that.
Why'd you pause? You didn't think? Why did you think I was thinking about the Revenant was like some kind of like BT classic? No.
Yeah. It took me a second to understand what you said. But like Phoenix doesn't have like a big like African American population. Why is that?
Because it's 157 degrees. They
Yeah.
actually been growing. It has a decent amount. I mean, technically, it's underrated. Black people are 13% of the population. And Phoenix has like a 6% black population, and yeah, it's half of what it normally is. But like LA, like people didn't stop in Arizona; they kept going.
Yeah,
It's
that's
too
fair.
close to the racist shit.
Yeah, that makes sense. Being a Vikings fan, what do you feel about the Vikings? I feel like I was saying the other day, it's kind of like I have like an abusive girlfriend. It's like, but everything's been good for a few
No, they're
weeks,
the
so you're like,
truth.
oh
No,
yeah, like
I told you at the beginning of the year that Sam Darnold had nothing to fucking lose, and his whole
yeah,
career was riding on this. And he had two of the top receivers in the game, and Sam Darnold is showing you he's standing on business. Sam
mm,
Darnold is going to revamp his career, same way Baker Mayfield. Like there comes a point of hunger. Something makes people weaker. When they get drafted in the first round, top 5 pick, top 10 pick, everybody's like, "Oh, you the man," and the agents, "Oh, you don't got to worry about this. We're holding out till we get." And you get this idea that you're great without earning anything. And then Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield was like, "Damn, they got cut, traded." You start to feel like, damn, do I got it? And at that point, you in the gym. You ever went to the gym and you can just tell when somebody's working out with purpose? Like some people just working out to look good and get women and oh yeah.
mm,
But you ever see someone busting ass like that dude's gotta fight somebody. This is somebody he's working out with the intention to whoop someone's ass. That's how Sam Darnold was working out. He's like, I gotta show these motherfuckers that I'm dangerous. And he's playing like it. I like it. Their Vikings are gonna be good.
yeah. Well, let's jump into that game. It's not first on the list, but Vikings Packers. I checked the line 2 hours ago. It was Packers 2.5. Now it's jumped to 3. I think they announced that Jordan Love is even closer to being able to play. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. Packers have been surprising. Matt LaFleur has been playing, doing great job of coaching. Matt Willis looked great. Their run game is strong. Josh Jacobs looks like he's the best running back they ever put on a Packers uniform. Says a lot. Everything says they should win. I just still think these Vikings team, I think Brian Flores' defense is strong. He's always been a great defense. And to me, they're a hungry, like, they don't have any stars. I mean, the biggest star they have is Harrison Smith. Is that a star? So with that being the case, I feel like that's where teams win. Like when there's not like it's just a bunch of guys that like we're gonna prove the world. You had Sam Darnold. He's a top 5 pick. At some point, people thought he had the tools, and then you give him Justin Jefferson. I think Addison might be coming closer to back. When Hopkins comes back, he has the tools. And Aaron Jones, this is his revenge game. Like he knows everything about them. He knows their weaknesses. He knows who's cheating on their girlfriend. He knows everything about this team. Aaron Jones is going to go to work, man. I'm on your Vikings, bro. But I was wrong last week, so you might take that as you want.
I'm with it. I think I would take whoever was the underdog, like take the points if you're going against the spread. So the fact that they're like, I think if I told you the Vikings were 1.5 favorites, 1.5 favorites, you'd be like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So the fact that it's like 3-point favorites, I just don't see it. So yeah, I'm taking the Vikings.
But then maybe the fix is in. Maybe Vegas is like, we are begging you to take the Vikings. We're begging you. Everybody wants to take the Vikings because you're like, you get points and they could win. I'm going to take the Vikings on the money line. And then Vegas is like, ha, surprise, 47-point blowout. We're rich now.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking also, jumping ahead to a different game, but you called it. Josh Allen must have listened to you on the podcast. But you said on like our first podcast that it's so nice as a quarterback to not have a wide receiver demanding the ball, and it makes life a lot easier. And sure enough, Josh Allen came out and threw a little dig at Stephon Diggs.
I didn't call it. I thought the Bills were going to be ass this year, and they are. I'm still standing on business. In fact, I'm wearing this hat because I'm standing on business. I said last week that the Jaguars would win, and not only did they not win, they got their ass whipped like bad.
Mm-hmm.
It made me realize that Trevor Lawrence is beneficial. That's white supremacy in a little bit, because like if he was black, he wouldn't have had this leash. Like if Deshaun Watson was white, he'd still be very high regarded. Like, and so yeah, Trevor Lawrence, yeah, that shit's not it, bro.
No.
But yeah, the Bills look good. Their defense is starting down runs. I think every one of their wins is kind of asterisk to me, though. They should have lost to the Cardinals. They beat Tua, who's afraid of him, and he got hurt. And they've been whooping teams' ass, but I don't know if they're good. And so I'm fading them for the rest of the year. I'm starting today. Every time they're a dog, I'm taking every time they're playing against a team and they're favorite, I'm taking the dog to win money line. We're gonna see how much I win. I might be broke. How about this? If we're gonna do this all the time, give me $100 budget. I'm putting $10 on the other team money line from now on. We'll see how long my $10 lasts.
All right. Well, the Ravens are 2.5-point favorites. So.
Oh, yeah, the Ravens gonna beat their ass.
Oh yeah. I just feel it's that's gonna be a great game. It's like one of the best games of the year.
Well, they stopped the run really well. That's what they've been doing. Nobody's been able to run on them but they haven't played any great running quarterbacks. It changes everything. You have to literally keep an eye on the quarterback, which gives less of a man to stop the run. And you got Derrick Henry running that bitch at you. Huh? Yeah. How's that feel? Yeah, it's not Travis Etienne. It's Derrick Henry trying to put his fucking helmet and his hand on your face mask and throw you to the ground like a pastor on Sunday, giving you a blessing and let you get the Holy Ghost as he steps over you. Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens. Buffalo Bills ass.
I'm thinking the Bills win only because until Josh Allen gives me a reason not to doubt him. And then the Ravens, I don't actually count last week. Like, they were kicking the shit out of the Cowboys and then just took their foot off the pedal. Cowboys got lucky, got an onside kick. So really, it looked close and that they let up, it was really bullshit. So yeah, I'm still gonna take the Bills.
Is this Josh Allen's MVP season? Is this Josh Allen's MVP season?
Oh yeah.
You think he
especially if Mahomes is just kind of fucking around. Like I said this from the start, I don't think the Chiefs care. I mean, they're just kind of like in LeBron mode. Let's get through the regular season. Let's get to the playoffs. You know, be 11, 12 wins. They don't give a shit.
No, they might go undefeated. They found a way to get out of every fucking game. So
yeah,
they go undefeated, but they don't care. Yeah. But no, Josh Allen has not thrown an interception through 3 weeks, which I think is the first time in his career this happened. Josh Allen's an interception machine, and somehow he's just handling the ball with care. And I don't know how long that lasts. I don't think that's going to last forever. But if it does,
and I was always anti Josh Allen and pro Josh Mahomes pro Patrick Mahomes for obvious reasons. But Josh Allen now isn't playing hero ball because that was his big thing. He was always like trying to make something out of nothing, doing stupid ass shit. Like if no one scored a touchdown, like it had to be him. Like no one else can do anything. And so now, like you said, he's kind of playing a bit more smart, which I guess makes sense. He's getting older. How old is Josh Allen? 29?
Hey, Google, how old is Josh Allen?
28 years old.
He's 28 years old, man.
That's
He's older
young.
than your girlfriend. He's older than your girlfriend.
No, same age, actually. So I'm Josh Allen.
You lied. You said your girlfriend was Joe Burrow's age, man.
Well, I thought Joe Burrow was turning 28 this year.
No, you can't just take a younger athlete and try to use that to make it sound better. You gotta take
I thought it sounded worse.
Joe Burrow's way. I thought he was way younger than Josh Allen. I don't know why I feel like there's a big gap between those two.
Right? I would have thought at least 3 years. That's crazy.
Yeah.
How old's Mahomes?
Hey Google, how old is Mahomes?
29, and he just turned 29 too. Wow.
Yeah. Do you think his wife is causing him stress? I feel like, again, the external fame. He's not playing great this year. You think that's just because his wife is just like, we got to go to the Trump rally?
Yeah, I think so. And all the Kelsey stuff, and he's in a million commercials.
Yeah, it's just there's no time to really focus on football.
Yeah.
They're going to three-peat, though. I think they're going to win it all.
They are looking nice. Yeah, it'd be good to see a Josh Allen Mahomes head-to-head a couple times.
They're not going to get there. They're going to suck. All right, go ahead. Next game.
Steelers-Colts, my lock of the week. The Steelers are only 2-point favorites.
The Colts are better than you think.
I don't think so.
Anthony Richardson is the greatest, worst quarterback of all time. I don't know how you phrase
I think
that.
Aaron Brooks is, but Richardson could be in the running.
Anthony Richardson can throw the ball 70 yards in no time like that. And, like, the Steelers' defense is so good that, like, only an unorthodox person like Anthony Richardson could exploit that. Like, just somebody that, like, can shake T.J. Watt, and their corners are not used to covering that long, so they're just fucking streaming Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman catching 60-yard bombs. And I just felt like Justin Fields in that offense has been winning with like 15 points. They're just a 16, 20 points max team that wins games. And the Colts, I think, yeah, they can shut down their defense. I think they have what it takes to get that first win. And I mean, if we're being honest, if the Steelers win this game, they're going undefeated. They're going 17-0 with the worst roster of all time, just going undefeated because who can beat them? If the Colts can't beat them, who can, you know?
I think Justin Fields' breakout game, he goes absolutely bananas. If it's just fantasy points, he leads the league in fantasy points because the Colts defense is terrible. They lost to Forrest Buckner, right? Yeah.
Are they?
They are.
I mean, what team scored? No team scored a lot of points on them.
They're terrible.
No, I'm looking it up. I don't think anyone scored over like 24 points.
The Texans put 29 on them.
All right. And the Texans are supposed to be the highest power, but like Green Bay put 16 on them.
That was with Malik Willis.
The Bears put 16 on them.
With Caleb Williams. Yeah. Well,
I mean, shit, you act like Justin Fields is a class above all these guys?
I think he will be. This is like they finally going to let him throw a little bit. He's going to run for a crazy amount of yards. I love it. I think they crush the Colts.
Are we on the opposite side of every bet so far?
I think so. That's interesting. Also, Anthony Richardson has thrown an interception on 18% of his completions. So he's completed 18% of his passes to the other team. I just want you to know that. 36 passes, 6 interceptions.
I see the play where he was in the goal line, literally just threw it to the defensive player. I feel like
that was terrible.
If there was one player you have to think of, like just watching that they're making a shit ton of money gambling against, who's that player? Who's that player?
Jameis Winston and Aaron Brooks.
No, Jameis was really. I think he's 30 is an impressive stat. It's hard to throw 30 interceptions. It's also hard to throw 30 touchdowns. He led the league in passing a year too. He took like 5,000 yards.
That's what I'm saying. He had that. He was betting against himself.
You really don't realize who's betting against himself until you're betting for them. You're like, wait a minute. Why is this guy going down that easy? This is not normal,
right?
Yeah, we're not going to name any players in case we get somebody on here, but there's a couple of guys I've been like, you guys might have a FanDuel account.
Will Levis. Ooh, that's one right. A current one is Will Levis. Like, we're winning the game. I'm falling. Here you go. Yeah. Cover that spread, bitch.
Think about how much money you can make. Will Levis is probably making, what, $300,000 a year? Like, nothing really. And, you can make, you take the other team money line when you're a heavy favorite. Like, hey, at halftime, you just call Uncle Rico and be like, hey, drop the bag. And he's just like $7 million on the Titans to lose.
Yeah, they're up, 17 points in the one game and then just fucking threw it away. Yeah. I could see it. Will Levis is a cheater. We all know it.
We're close to point shaving, bro. We're close. I thought about it, man. I got a daughter. I lost so much money gambling that I was like, I want to train my daughter to be an amazing tennis player. Just be so good. And just one time when she's like in a tournament that doesn't matter, I'm just like, hey, baby girl, for daddy and all his closest friends, can you drop the second set? Just go ahead and let him be. You can win the game. Just lose the second set. Just go get all my money back, man.
That's fair.
That's how I gamble. That's when you gamble. That's what your brain thinks. That's how you think. You're like, how am I going to get my money back? You start formulating plans. All right, I got to take my daughter to the gym every day. I got to push her hard. Like, a real abusive fathers like Joe Jackson and, Serena's daddy. And, those guys that like push you too hard where you hate them, but at the same time, they make you great. I was going to do that with my daughter just to get my money back again.
It's funny you say that about the parents who hate because Tiger Woods, him and his dad had a big falling out. Like, I feel like that's a big thing with phenoms is you have that dad who pushes you so much that you hate them.
You can't have love. Love in the recipe throws off success. You need to be like, you don't even care. I'm just an object to you. You're like, get your ass back on that field. Like, that's where success comes from.
Like, I wonder if Tiger Woods could change it all around and just be a mediocre golfer versus the best ever, but have like a good relationship like with his family and less. Obviously, like it's put him in the trauma of the sex stuff he's been into because his dad was a bit of a scoundrel.
I can just guarantee Tiger Woods' kids aren't going to be that great. It just seems like he's taking too many pictures with them. Like, there's a certain place. I don't know what Tyreek Hill's family's like. I don't know his family life. I just imagine he don't have a great relationship with his dad because he's just that good. He's that good that this has to be some form of like, I'm showing motherfuckers what they missed out on.
Is that also why he has like 10 kids?
Yeah, that's probably the reason why he had 10 kids. He's like, my dad went around on my.
Do you ever think he slept with that cop's wife? That was my like big aha moment. Like maybe he was banging that dude's wife.
damn. And he was like, I'm gonna show you, and put his knee in his back.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good
Right?
theory. I never
Or
thought
his
about it, but
daughter. Or his daughter. One of the two,
yeah,
because the guy's a little bit older.
yeah. I could tell. Like if you listen to the audio when he was doing, he was like, "You and
Yeah.
your big ass dick are going to be arrested."
Yeah. He's like giving like fucking nut shots. uh, and he just knew like that's what his daughter was into, and like he looked at what was the tight end, and the tight end is like a big dude too. He's like, oh, look at he's gonna go at her too, isn't he?
Yeah, he just had Calais, and he's arresting big sexual monsters. He's just thinking about what they would do to his woman or daughter, and he's just like, everybody's going to jail. And then Tua drive by, he's like, you're fine, come on.
Yeah, see you later. Mike McDaniel, good game.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
He did go off to like the most mandingo of the team.
I wanted to let like a few weeks pass before I brought this up. It wasn't as sensitive.
And what's his conversation at home after like he didn't leave his wife? He just knows that she slept with Tyreek Hill, and now he arrested him. He's just like, see how did it work today?
Yeah. Do you think he like whispered he like had the handcuffs that his wife had? Like, look who's using these now, bitch. And he fucking put the handcuffs that Tyreek handcuffed his wife up to her bed against, and just had like little subliminal things.
Tyreek's like, I got a knee problem. He's like, oh yeah, where was that knee problem, man, on May 13th, huh? Where was that knee problem?
I know you fucking hit it on the side of my mantle, you motherfucker. That's why you got a knee problem.
I would like that story. That would give me a full, like, everybody he's at peace. That would be justice in a weird way. It's like, all right, I get it. Yeah, definitely.
Or like Tyree, like, hit it running away, like trying to jump the fence in his backyard, and that's why he, like, hit it on something.
He just knows. Yeah, you got it. You solved the case, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Jaguars, Texans. Texans 6.5-point favorites.
They're gonna start thinking about benching Trevor Lawrence. I've never seen. They're 0-4, right?
3, but yeah,
they could be
about to be 0-4.
Yeah, the Texans. I'm this way. All right, this is my thought process. I think Texans are good. CJ Stroud was balling last year. This year he's been all right.
Yeah,
I don't like how he's like taking like he's got it already. Like I seen him giving advice to Caleb Williams. Fuck, you're a second-year player. How you giving advice? And we're taking him hits, motherfucker. You or me? We're peers. What are you talking about? And I don't know. I'm wearing a Jaguars hat right now. Duval needs it. I think teams are very hungry when they're at this point. Like if they go 0-4, their season's over. I think people are playing for their job. What's the spread on it again?
6.5.
And traditionally speaking, just this year, most people who've been like 5.5 or higher have been winning outright. So like, yeah, the NFL heavy favorites are just not the wave. So I'm going with the Jags, man. I'm going with the Jaguars.
Yeah, I got a stat for you. 6-point favorites or higher are 2-15 against the spread this year, and 9 outright losses. So out of 17 games, 9 have been outright losses.
Damn.
Which is crazy.
So that means your average bettor is like losing his mind how much money he lost with the fucking Chiefs. How those Chiefs blow that? And there's some guy that's just really like bad at betting, but just like loves taking dogs. It's like rich and like just I told you so to the world. Usually he loses a lot of these bets, but right now he's like, yeah, I put $700 on the Bengals to lose at 7-point dogs, and I just made $40,000. You're like, no way, but he did, and he can brag for this month, but eventually he's gonna start losing.
He can get caught up. I also think if the Jaguars lose, I think Doug Peterson is fired. What's the earliest coach has ever been fired?
He can't fire him that quick. They
don't think?
They won a playoff game just like 2 years ago, but they did go start. They were winning a lot last year, and they tanked like the last 7 games. And then this year they're 0-4, so you're right. Something's got to change up. But if you get rid of Doug Peterson, you're gonna have. I
don't think they can get. Yeah, they can't get rid of Lawrence because they just paid him a ton of money, right?
Yeah, so they can't trade him. But
the owner and the GM can't blame themselves with their Lawrence money, so they have to blame the coach.
Good? Answer the question. Is Trevor Lawrence good?
That throw, that interception he had, oh my God, that was
he like overthrew, the receiver by like 40 games. Yeah, I think he was trying to help DeMar Hamlin out. The guy almost died on the field. You got to do some kind of like charity.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that was his first interception too.
And then also he it was like in the third quarter when the pocket wasn't really closing around. It was just like a touch, but he like went like this like instantly, and no one tackled him. I don't know if you saw that. And then he like ran, and he's like So is he just fucking scared he's gonna get hit every 2 seconds as well?
I mean, once you get paid, I told you, once you get paid, what's the incentive to like ball out? Like some
Mm-hmm.
people really like love the game and like they want to work hard. Some people get that bag and they like, shit, it's time to go holler at pretty ass Latina chicks and chill, you know?
Yeah, except for if you're a Vikings fan, because there's no Latinas
Yeah,
for
you're right.
Vikings fans.
You can go, but I mean, if you be honest, if you live in Minnesota, you need to get on the plane. You need to find a website like the Flight Deal. Hopefully, they sponsor it. See when they got a discount to go into like DR or to Panama or to Colombia. And you need to get the fuck out of that freezing cold city. You need to go see some Latinas. Latinas make life better. I'll tell you that. I was talking to my therapist. He was like, yeah, he was, my therapist is my barber. And he was basically like, yeah, man, hoes. Hoes is what you need. And hoes really do fix everything. Like, you go through depression, hoes. You're going through financial struggle, hoes. Like literal hoes, like have to give them work in the strip, give them on Figueroa and making some money. If you're going through marital problems, hoes. Yeah, what your wife won't do, there's a girl out there that will do. So yeah, hoes really is the recipe for progress in life, to find success. Even if you have a problem with hoes, more hoes could help.
Okay, it's an interesting thought. Where it's legal, of course, I guess. A little preface with that.
Well, I was using hoes in a more metaphorical term.
If
you're talking about sex workers, yeah, that's not the answer to everything. But it is the answer to about 3 of those things, but not everything.
Not everything. That's understandable.
Hoes is metaphorical. When you say hoes, like where the hoes at, that doesn't fully mean. White people think it's literal. Like, oh shit, you talking about Vegas or Figueroa? No, where the hoes at is like a greed. It's like where would I find a large batch of women that I can find myself in a better, pleasant environment because they're around, So that's what.
Or men. There's men hoes too. We don't want to like disqualify women who need some men hoes.
Men. They can be men. And you can like that. That's fine. They don't qualify as hoes. Nobody's like, the hose is over here and it's a bunch of men being like, hey.
What about like we gotta start doing that. Like, hey.
Stop it. Hey, real talk. All right, hey, answer me this question, right? This is gonna be funny, all right? Say I'm talking to the girl of my dreams, right? I stumbled upon my future wife. We're talking.
I've been to this place, by the way. So go ahead.
And
you,
she has a best friend. He is her best friend. All right, non-binary. Who knows? They maybe they, but it was probably born with XY chromosome, right?
One of the alphabets.
And you have to try to help me. Now, clearly, you're not gay. At least I think so. You come out the closet if you want to on your podcast. Be a good time to do it. How would you entertain that person long enough for me to win or seal the deal?
Oh, I'm good with I'm a good flirt either way. So it's like I can do it and like, oh, that's a nice watch, Oh yeah, what kind of music you like? I can take that down for sure.
But like, how long? It down. Could you entertain for like, hey, like they say it takes. I read a book where it was like 6 to 7 hours of time of comfortably communicating is where a woman's guard will come down when she feels comfortable enough to have sex with you. So how could you entertain a man for 6 hours?
I don't think you need a wingman for 6 hours, right? Like I think you just got to like put in that good 30 minutes of banter. Oh, you get us some drinks. Get some drinks. Oh yeah, it's funny. You move around a little bit, talk about, come back. Oh, what's up, Jeremiah? Yeah, great dick. And then you just keep on doing stuff. But you entertain passively after the first, you need that first 30 minutes of trust. Then you can kind of be a passive trust.
Let's say that it's just, we're like, hey, we're going back to the hotel room. But she's like, I don't want to leave my friend. I'm like, Fraser, come on, let's go back to the hotel room.
Yeah.
At what point do you hop off the wingman?
Probably a couple hours, right? Like I think we can have good conversation and joke around for at least 2 or 3 hours. Like I'm entertained. And then at that point, I think like the guy knows that you guys are like hitting it off and is ready to just kind of, let them be.
He kind of likes you. So he's there.
Yeah. So maybe that's where I go. Like, I was like, hey, I know this speakeasy down the road. Do you want to go there? Let these two kids have their fun and we have ours. And then we walk. And I have a couple of drinks.
You're catfishing the man.
And for you, though. But this is for you.
Those guys are assholes. You're not going to let me win this hypothetical. So you won. You win. I thought you were going to be like, all right, I'll kiss him. So I thought you were going to go, yeah.
No, I don't think you have to kiss him to entertain him, right? I don't know what kind of world that is.
What if he knew that, though? He was like, my friend gets hit all the time. And if you want your friend to win.
I don't think I would kiss a guy for you to get some action.
My wife, Fraser? Kissing a man for my wife?
If we like went to the future, back from the future, like you have to do this for me to like be everlasting happiness. I wouldn't say it wouldn't be an instant no.
Wow.
Just so you know
I
that.
was having a conversation with someone that you could say is a little homophobic. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want that person to be frowned upon or anything. We had this conversation. I said, if you could save the world, you knew that you were saving the world. All you had to do is kiss this man. Would you? And he said no. He said he would kiss a man. I was like, you would let humanity die?
That's intense.
Yeah,
You could play that game forever, I guess. Like, how far could you go? Just like for $10 million, how far would you go? First step. It doesn't even have to be gay stuff.
That's what I told you. Like I would want to go to the Diddy party just to hear the offer. I just all right now. What I put the baby oil on me? How much you go? What do I get? Like that's I would turn it down. Probably I would 90% turn it down. But I never got the offer. You know, hypothetically, I'm not gonna say yes to. Hey, would you do it for $1 million? No, there's not $1 million. I'm not. But if Diddy was like, yo, there's money in the bag right here, bro. Lube yourself up. What you doing, Fraser?
What? No, you're talking about you at the Diddy party. Don't put me at the Diddy party.
I'm asking you. I've already I gave my side. If someone was like, yo, there's $10 million in his bag right now. You can go buy your house, go chill, quit your job. All I want you to do is lube yourself up and twerk in front of these cameras. What you doing?
Oh, I'm twerking the fuck out of that. This is some twerking for Diddy. I'll do that shit for free.
Doing the Dougie.
Yeah. I don't need the money. I'd say, hold your money, Diddy. I've been a big fan. And I hope you enjoy this. Can you put on Senorita for me, please? Thank you. Let's go. Keep it away from my face. I would be honored if, like, let's take, because Diddy is apparently a rapist, so we gotta take that away. But like, if Eddie Murphy was just beating the shit out of his dick and it was because of you, I mean, at some point that's gotta be like a, wow, I made one of the greatest men ever happy.
It's hilarious. It's actually really fucking funny. I hope it's not true, but yeah. I'm just gonna twerk for Diddy, man. Not without no money. You would wake up hungover and be like, what the fuck was I doing yesterday? I was wilding, bro. I was wilding. This is terrible. Keep your money and turn on the music a little louder. Keep it away from my face. It's disgusting. Oh my God.
Anyway, Saints Falcons.
I'm a little bit on the Falcons hater train right now just because
Me too.
Want my brother back. And the Saints look great. They just look good. Derek Carr is the same Sam Darnold situation. I don't know. This would be the game the Saints would lose, and everybody's like high on them, and they would lose. But their defense looks legit. Coach looks great. David Carr looks like he's a suitable quarterback that probably is going to go Pro Bowl. Alvin Kamara is still Alvin Kamara. I'm kind of pissed I didn't draft him in fantasy. I was like, oh, he's got to fall off eventually. That guy's not falling off. That guy's been great since he was at Tennessee. Why would anybody ever doubt Alvin Kamara? And then they got a bunch of guys that they have a bunch of just fast guys you don't know. Like, who the fuck is this Shaheed guy? What's his name? He sucked last week. Everybody like started him and he didn't do anything. But like that guy is good for at least 160-yard touchdown bomb a game.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you. I'm taking Saints as well. I'm gonna make that a lock of the week. I got that and the Bears, that and the Steelers as locks of the week so far.
Colts are unpredictable. Never bet against the Colts with your bottom dollar. I'll just tell you that right now. Never.
I will always bet against them. They're terrible.
Just don't do it, bro. They know when you're betting on them and they fucking come down. All right. Clip this. We need more clips anyways that are just small. So let's just start. I won't start the clip here. All right. Never bet your bottom dollar on against the Colts. All right. They find ways to take your money. All right. And so all you guys who bet the Steelers and you thought that was a lock of the week like Frazier, they're gonna lose. But only air this if they lose after the game. They're gonna lose, and I'm trying to tell you this. This is on Thursday, the 26th. The Steelers are 3-0. Colts look terrible, and watch Anthony Richardson ball out like a fucking maniac this week because you're betting against him. That's why he wants your money. He works for the banks.
All right. He's gonna throw 2 picks and have the worst game of his career. Actually, that's tough to say because he's had a lot of bad games, but.
No,
I think he completes under 10 passes.
Here's the same game parlay for you. Ready?
Ooh.
Anthony Richardson. I don't know what his yards are. I haven't did a bunch of research on this. Over 200 yards throwing. It's going to be plus money, all right? Anthony Richardson, anytime touchdown score. He's going to run a touchdown. Michael Pittman, over 53 yards receiving. He's going to catch a bunch of balls. Alec Pierce, over 40 yards or 4 receptions. There you go. And then Jonathan Taylor, anytime touchdown scorer. And Colts money line. Put $7 on that and send me the receipt. And if it loses, I'll send you $7 back.
And I'm saying do Anthony Richardson underpassing, 1 interception, and they lose the game by an alternate spread of 6.5 points. That's my parlay of the week.
You promised to post this after the
Yeah.
game? All right.
Also, because he brought up Alec Pierce. Oh, I had it. Maybe I deleted it. Oh, here. No, I lost it. It was the fastest 5 players of the year so far. I might be able to remember off the top of my head.
Like speed-wise?
Yeah, like in a game, who are the fastest 5 players? It's kind of hard, but
that should be. I've been thinking. Someone showed me a clip of like Arch Manning was moving at the same pace as Michael Vick, and I'm like, no. Either two things: either they're lying, which I think is more likely, or CRISPR babies are real. Yeah, white people just decided, hey, fuck this shit. We're not losing no more Olympics, and they just started changing GNX, and they just fucking cloned. They found some fast dude that they got on a charge, and they fucking kidnapped him and took his DNA, and they're just implanting it into Christian McCaffrey's cousins and shit.
Wow.
Yeah,
makes
a little
sense.
bit racist, but I'm sorry, it's a little racist, but yeah,
that's okay.
I'm not used to white people moving this fast.
You deserve it. I mean, it's something we can do better. Nico Collins is first fastest, Saquon Barkley second, Jerome Ford third, Brandon Eccles, cornerback for the Jets, fourth fastest, Alec Pierce, white guy, fifth.
There we go.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's the guy. That's who you're betting against. That's who you're betting against. My same game probably is going to hit.
Alec Pierce twice. He's in the top 11 2 times. Good for him.
That's favoritism. Somebody's trying to make him in there for diversity purposes.
You're right. What game do we have next? Bears-Rams. This is a tough one because I think the Bears are terrible, but the Rams are so injury depleted. But also the Rams beat the Niners with the same injury depletion.
The NFL just taking money. Bears are going to blow them out. I think their O-line won't be able to block the Bears' D-line. Matt Stafford's great. He'll throw the ball as much as he can, but he's going to take a few hits, and once they start losing, this is a game where I think the offense has been bad for the Bears. They need a tune-up game. They need a game where they play good finally. I think Rome and Keenan Allen, I don't know if he's even playing. I've seen people dropping him on fantasy like, damn, Keenan Allen, that's a fall. But I think that this team should get things moving this weekend, and the Bears should win handedly. Like one of those solid 28-7 games.
This is wild. We are I think, picked against each other for most of the games because we're doing it here again. I'm going Rams +3. I still think the Bears should be favored in any game, let alone against the Rams, who are like a top 10 pick if they're healthy, a top 10 team if they're healthy.
What's the strength of the Rams team? What's the strength of it?
Coaching. And Eberflus, the Bears coach, is like the worst coach as well.
It's their offense. And a good defense, especially with an injury-depleted offense, beats a good offense. So the Bears won't let the Rams score. And then they may even score points themselves, but if not, I think I think this is what I'm actually hoping for. Once the Rams lose 2 more games, they're going to just trade Matt Stafford to the Dolphins.
I heard Bryce Young to the Dolphins.
No, Bryce Young, I don't think they gave up on him yet. I think they're just benching him. He might come back and start.
But if you're the Dolphins, what, a 3rd-round pick to save the season? Do you pay, what do you pay for Bryce Young? I wonder what his asking price is. Wait, what do the Panthers want? A 3rd-round pick, a 4th-round pick?
Well, what do you do? I mean, unless Tua is guaranteed to retire, you owe him a lot of money, salary cap. Bryce Young, if he comes in and plays good, you can't afford to pay both quarterbacks. It's a very difficult situation you put yourself in.
No, because he just got his, Tua did. So by the time Bryce is up for his contract, you can move on from. And if he retires at some point, you got nothing on the books.
Tag him. He's a 5-year deal. He wouldn't want to play on his last year deal. He would probably try to renegotiate. So
Bryce Young, and you're just renting him, right? Like he's just a nice backup. And he's
if he
small,
plays good, you can probably trade him or do something. But
exactly,
you put yourself in the situation. I don't know. I think Russell Wilson or Matt Stafford fixed the Dolphins. I think Bryce Young needs 4 years behind a bad team. He needs a Sam Darnold situation.
Yeah, I just can't see Stafford leaving because I think obviously Kupp and Puka will come back. A couple of their linemen come back. They make a late run. They make the playoffs again.
Well, I think this is my theory with trading with the Dolphins. Like, there's certain teams where your wife and family are like, fuck that. You know, you could trade it mid-season to the Patriots or the Vikings or even Seattle. You're like, fuck that. But, like, Miami's one of the few cities where wife's like, oh, yeah, we can do Miami.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, let's get a place in Miami. Yeah, Miami's a perfect loaner place. Like, you don't have to live there forever, but, like, yeah, we can spend a year in Miami.
Yeah, and obviously you make more money, too, with the taxes.
That's why Calais went to the Miami Dolphins. It was his wife. She had the final decision. She thought about living in Chicago, putting on the coat, wrapping the babies up. And she
Yeah.
thought about Miami. She was like, I'm going to go sit by the beach, drinking pina coladas. And it was like, easy choice. And she was like, you're going to the Dolphins. And I was like, Calais, go to the Bears. No argument.
I would have just said he goes anywhere but those two franchises, but that was just me. I need to be consulted next time. He's got to stay around, right? I mean, if you're still playing, like if you're performing at a top 70 at your position level, you stay around for another year. He's playing at like a top 30, 25. And that's just on the field, not including, like, as we know, bias, but he's like the best captain on earth, like in the locker room.
Oh yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah, he gets a lot of that from me. Yeah, he's played. I think in week 3, as far as interior D lineman rated as PFF, who like watches every play and like does the things they do, he was like the 7th or 6th best player of the week. Like he's 162 years old.
Right, and he looks 107.
You're just at a point like at some point, your grandfather and Calais Campbell will have went to high school together. Like that's just where we're at right now.
I think it's crazy that he sacked Trevor Lawrence and then has also picked off Peyton Manning. Like that's a weird longevity stat.
All right, so against the Seattle Seahawks, Calais balls. That's his team. Everybody got their team. Since his career, every time he goes to Seattle, he gets multi-sack games or at least a sack. He sacked a Seattle Seahawks player for 3 different decades. I think his first sack was in 2008 against Matt Hasselbeck.
Yeah.
And then he sacked Geno Smith. It's Russell Wilson. He knows him so much that
and Javaris Jackson.
Calais sacked Russell Wilson so much that he could probably tell Sierra parts of Russell's body. He's like, yeah, on his shoulder he got a little scar.
Another alternate universe. Calais is responsible for Deshaun Watson and everything that has happened because he absolutely murdered Matt Schaub. Remember, he sacked Matt Schaub like 8 times in one game.
No, it wasn't Matt Schaub. It was
some white quarterback.
Yeah, and then Deshaun Watson came in
that game and took the reins ever since. And now whatever's happened with Deshaun Watson, that's all Clay's fault because he retired. What's his name?
Those 24 masseuses would have had a better life if Clay didn't go out and ball out for the Jaguars.
Like Deshaun Watson wouldn't have had as much money. He would have been on the bench longer. He wouldn't have needed as many massages because he wasn't playing. He would have taken another year.
The butterfly effect. There's kids that weren't born because Calais had such a good game. That's sad. Why'd you bring that up?
I know. Who was the quarterback? It was someone white like Matt Schaub.
No, it was like a 1-year guy. He started a little bit. Like he was gonna get walked down. Eventually they didn't draft Deshaun Watson to not play him.
Exactly.
That guy was like, we're gonna ease him in, and then he got sacked like 5 times in the first half. That was the birth of Saxonville. Saxonville was like that was a wave. Like, to be honest with you, if you look at their numbers, they really weren't the best numbers, like even that year, let alone like decades. But that defense stuck out because they carried Blake Bortles to the damn AFC Championship game and almost won. So, like, yeah, the Saxonville, that was a time. I wish Saxonville would come back. That was a fun year for everybody. The world was better when Saxonville was playing good.
I agree. What's the next game we got? Jesus, we have Eagles-Bucks. This is a tough one. Eagles are 2-point favorites.
Bucks can't run the ball, and Baker Mayfield is great, but he can't throw. He's not going to win by. If you just have Baker Mayfield like Peyton Manning sitting there trying to pick people apart, he's going to eventually go interception. I'm not saying he's bad. He's much better than people think. He's not an elite quarterback, though. I'll say that on record. He's not top 5, top 10 at all. Yeah, I think the Eagles' defense is for real. Saquon Barkley might he's going to definitely get comeback player of the year. He could potentially be offensive player of the year. He's amazing. Jalen Hurts. And I don't think A.J. Brown plays, which hurts him, but at the same time, they don't need him. I think they blow this team out single-handedly. I'm taking alternate spread, Eagles, -7.5.
I like it. I'm taking the Eagles, too. And then also, speaking of Devonta Smith, it's crazy that you can't – like what is this biggest level of differential? You can't touch a quarterback like this on his head. Like, you can't even tap him head. But a running back has the ball, or like Devonta Smith has the ball, and is being held up by 4 guys, and guys are just fucking spearing him in the face. And it's like, oh, no, that's just football, baby. Like, the disparity, that's the word I'm looking for, is insane. Now, you can't do anything to a quarterback, but like running backs are getting teed off on, and Devonta Smith obviously got teed off on too.
Well, there's also, and this is just bringing up the race card again here. You're black and you're white. Traditionally speaking, white quarterbacks get calls that black quarterbacks don't. So, yeah, they're just like, fuck him, he's strong. Same thing with women in pregnancy. They're like, they can take it. But, if And, Sam Darnold's like, "What are you doing? They're gonna throw a flag." But Lamar Jackson, you get out of here, nigga.
All right, Cincinnati Bengals, Carolina Panthers.
Andy Dalton
Bengals,
revenge. Andy
yeah,
Dalton's revenge game. And
mm-hmm.
I think I like the Panthers. I think the Panthers are hungry. The
I
Bengals
agree.
they're 0-4, right?
Yes, we're like 0-3, but Joe Burrow looks terrible. I mean, doesn't look terrible, but the Bengals look just terrible, I guess.
Yeah, I think. Well, technically, this is what happens to them. As Gary Jones, a good friend of mine, I know a lot of Bengals fans. They always start shitty. If you look at the numbers, the last 5 seasons, they've been terrible in the first 6 games, and then they find their stride and they start winning, and they easily make the playoffs or close to it. I think that's what's going to happen. I think they might lose this game, and then they're going to go on a tear. I don't think they lose again. What's the spread? It's a decent spread.
4.5.
Yeah,
4.5 for the
maybe they
Bengals.
win. Maybe they win by 3, but they're not going to blow out the Panthers.
Yeah, I would have thought the line would have been 2.5 or 3.5, but 4.5 just seems like a lot for a Bengals team that's literally just got shit kicked by the Redskins, who up until that point hadn't done anything. So at least we agree on that one. Broncos Jets. This is a tough one because it's 7.5, and as we talked about, faves over 6 have only run 2 out of 15 games. I like the Jets, so they're looking good.
Yeah, I think the Broncos, Bo Nick's going to throw a couple interceptions. Sean Payton's a good coach, but I just felt like this is one of those games where Aaron Rodgers starts to tune up. He starts to really, start figuring out Garrett Wilson 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and I think the Bo Nix and the Jaden Daniels, I need at least one more game to actually believe. I'm fading them this week, and then if they prove me wrong again, then Jaden Daniels did look. We can jump into that game. The whole time I was because I was on the Jaden Daniels is going to be a bust leader of the train. And the whole game, I was those are throws that everyone could make. It's not that great. It's nice, but okay. And then he made that throw to end the game, and that was the greatest throw of the year. I was like, oh my God. So I could be in trouble with that.
He seems calm. I mean, but he did play the Bengals who are trash.
Exactly.
This is a good fade spot for the Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. This is where people think are higher on him, and then you just kind of take the under on his passing yards, and he just doesn't do well.
That's what I did. That's what my prop bets are for that one. The Cardinals are 3.5-point favorites. I wish it was the Cardinals 2.5 because it could be a 3-point game, but I'm taking the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think McBride gets over 50 yards too. He's been kind of slow. This is the game where he kind of starts to find his wheels.
Yeah. Patriots 49ers. Niners are 10-point favorites.
Yeah, you got an East Coast team going to the West Coast, which isn't as bad because the time change, you get hours back. Mayo's a good coach. 49ers need this one. They're not going to let off the gas because they were up 14-0 against the Rams and found a way to lose. I don't think they're let off the gas. And they're 1-2 right now. This is a must-win game for a team that's in their window of championships. So yeah, 49ers minus 10.5 is a shit ton of points, but
yeah, that's why I think if the Patriots can somehow keep it close, then maybe they eke it out. But they can't come back at all. Once Patriots are down by,
Chicago percent's not going to throw you in the game. So if you get down 15, 16 points, you got to start throwing. It's not going to work.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Patriots just only because the spread has been odd, for against spread the underdogs. But I have no faith because 10 is a weird number. Worst game of the week: Browns Raiders.
Ooh.
They're 2-point favorites. The Raiders are.
All right, this is what I want you to do. All right, I'm telling everybody's watching this show. All right, I want you to go to your bank. I want you to go. How much can I withdraw at once? I want you to take all of that money. All right, and I want you to drive to Vegas. Go pay in cash. Get cash back. Don't put it in an app. I want you to put all your money, everything you have on it, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, hopefully. And if you don't have thousands, take a loan out. Take a high interest loan because it's gonna win. And you go to the teller and you say, I want the Browns money line. I want the Browns money line. And you're going to win that bet. And then I want you to stop gambling. I want you to go take that money. I want you to take your kids to Disneyland. And I want you to go enjoy it. Because if you keep betting, you're going to lose. But after you win that one. And if it loses, at the end of the day, we save ourselves some time. We need to stop. Let's hit this bottom so we get better. Let's recover. But yeah, that's my encouragement is the Browns will win this game outright.
Why?
All right, the Browns have been underperforming. They didn't practice in the preseason. They played like shit the first 3 weeks. They're finally getting it together. They have one of the best defenses in football. Shit you not. They are great. All right. The Cowboys did exploit them. The Cowboys had a couple of things. They're one of the best defenses in football. Deshaun Watson is playing for his life right now. He's going to start running the ball more. He's trying to make sure he keeps his career. The Browns need this win. If we're being honest, the Raiders are supposed to blow. The Raiders they outperformed their game. They beat the Ravens team they shouldn't beat, and then I think they lost every game since then. They might have they beat another team, but they're
No,
not
well,
great.
there's lost to the Panthers bad. No, they've only had the one win.
Against the Ravens that they shouldn't have won. They were down by like 10 points too. They
Yeah,
found a way to come back. They're
I
not a good
agree.
team. All right, they're at
Mhm.
home, but I don't think home field advantage in the Raiders means anything. There's probably more reason for people to leave Cleveland and go to Vegas and have a fan base. So yeah, that being the case, do what I just told you. Thank me later. Take everything you have. I'm talking about don't leave money for gas. Don't leave money for in case you lose. Bad risk. All right. The reason why I'm doing this is because if it loses, you need to stop too. All right. So let's hurry up. Let's get this shit going. All right. Let's not slow play this and waste our life. Either we make our money, we double up, and we have a good life, or we lose it. We realize we got to get the health anyways. But we're not staying here.
That should be a movie. I like that. Just kind of put it all or nothing, and then at least you know either way.
I mean, there's the movie The Gambler, which is a terrible ending.
Oh yeah.
He gets out of everything by winning. He just puts it all, and he fucking walks away, and he wins. But in real life, you lose that bet.
You didn't like the movie? I thought it was entertaining.
Uncut Gems is a better gambling movie. I feel like that gives a better tell of like what it's like. That guy was like, this fucking dumbass. He has $40,000. He's gonna double down. Or like the Uncut Gems is him being like, that feeling hits. I know that feeling. You like, I got the money to take care of all my debts.
Yeah.
But I also think Kevin Durant's gonna ball. Like I know that feeling. That movie was so real and stressful. I was like, God damn, this is like looking at myself in a mirror.
I agree. I'm with you on that one. All right, well, I'm taking the Browns too, but with less intensity as Jared. A good game. I'm going to bet this right now as part of my parlay. Chiefs are 7-point favorites over the Chargers. And I only say this because the Chiefs haven't blown out anyone. They haven't beat anyone by 7. And I think Herbert is going to play. So,
and it's a divisional rival, which is and I just don't think the Chiefs care. I think the Chiefs are trying to start a record. They're 0-3 against the spread. I think they won against the Rams. I mean, the Ravens, but they shouldn't have. They should have lost. They're going to be the team that goes undefeated without ever covering a spread because Vegas is high on them. That's just what they're like. We want to come behind and kick a field goal to win a game. So they're favorites by anything more than 3. Pound the other team.
So I've got for my parlay of the week, I'm going Chargers to cover the spread. I'm going Cardinals just to win money line, Rams money line, and Steelers money line. Just so you know.
Here's my parlay, all right? Anthony Richardson over 200 yards passing. Browns money line. And then I'm going to finish it off with Sam Darnold over passing yards and Vikings money line.
Okay, all right. So we're both taking the Chargers for the Chiefs-Chargers game. We talked about Bills-Ravens. Ooh, another 2 for Monday nights. Titans-Dolphins. Oh, another awful game of the week. If Huntley could play. If Huntley plays, do you have any insider info on that?
Snoop. The Dolphins have so many playmakers. When you add a running quarterback to that mix, it's going to be hard to cover everybody. So if they're leaving a spy out, that means they're going to have to do single coverage on Tyreek or Waddle.
Yeah.
And they can throw the ball far. I think that gives it. Their offensive line has been shit, but a mobile quarterback should buy you some more time. Hopefully that comes the case. And they're in a must-win situation. Like if they lose this, their season's down the drain. This is one of the easiest games on the schedule. They're at home. They get an extra day to prepare. I think that I like the Dolphins to beat Will Levis and company.
Is Snoop starting? Do we know that for sure, or is that a good chance?
It's been implied that he's going to start, but obviously Mike McDaniel likes. I mean, they have no one else. Skylar Thompson is out. You're not going to start Boyle.
Yeah, I also like there's so many read options that Tua does, but mostly it's just to pass or the running back takes it. Now you add in that the quarterback can just take off on like wide open green pastures, and if Huntley's in, I'm definitely taking that.
But the thing is, if he balls out, they may not trade for Russell Wilson or Matt Stafford. I kind of want that to happen, so it's really weird.
Seahawks Lions. I might have to add the Lions and money line, but at 3.5, I think it'll be a 3-point game. I'm going to take the Seahawks to cover because I think either team wins by 3. I think the Lions will win, but yeah.
My headphones keep falling out. I think the Lions' run game is special. David Montgomery's underrated. Jamar Gibbs can catch the ball in the backfield and keep you on balance. Jared Goff just has to be serviceable. The Seahawks aren't great. They did beat the Dolphins, but I don't think that was by any nature of like them being great. So yeah, give me the Lions to handle business there. This has been a long ass podcast, man. Whoever listened to all of this shit, thank you. You're a good Juba. You love Fraser.
Yeah, and Jared. I mean, I think we have some good clips. So
yeah. Hi, Fraser's mom. My mom's name is Debbie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Debbie. I know she's listening.
I know Natil's probably listening too. I love it. All right, Jared. Well, thanks for hopping on. We'll do it again next week. Oh, I might have to skip a week actually, but all right, we'll talk to you soon.
Oh wait. Well, cut off the camera.
Yeah, I'm getting a knee surgery, so ciao.
Is it the baby coming?